How's it going, everyone? Today we have a story time of a kid who punches his teacher in class because the teacher disrespected Skibidi Toilet. Yeah, I really don't know either, bro. This might be actual proof that Gen Alpha is cooked, but either way, it's a pretty entertaining story, so leave a like on the video right now to claim your free nothing. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's just jump right into it. Anyway, so we're going to call a subscriber who submitted this story Ryan. So anyways, in Ryan's class, there's a kid who we're going to call Ben. I know, shocker. No way you could have seen that coming. But anyways, right, so Ben was a Skibidi Toilet kid. And now, exactly one summer ago, as what happened to many of these other kids as well, essentially what happened is that Ben's parents were like, do whatever you want, bro. Like, we don't have anything planned. If you want to stay inside all day and play video games, that's fine. If you want to go outside and explore nature and allow your mind to grow, that's also okay. But of course, Ben decided that he was going to stay inside. And of course, Ben unfortunately stumbled upon the Skibidi Toilet rabbit hole. If you don't know what that is, it's basically just this it's series, I should say, of videos, like a story of these people in toilets versus I don't even know how to describe it. I'm not even going to try to describe it, bro. But anyways, right, Skibidi Toilet syndrome is basically the definition of it is kid basically spends 200,000 hours watching Skibidi Toilet. It destroys his prefrontal cortex. His entire brain has melted, and then he becomes insane. Some of them can only speak in words from the Skibidi Toilet song. So if you're like, hey, man, like, how's it going? He'll just say Skibidi Bop Bop. And you'll say, are you okay? And he'll say Skibidi Bop, yes, yes. That's like all he can communicate in. But others just kind of become deranged in different ways. I've told story times on this channel of kids who have tried to sacrifice people to Skibidi Toilet, which is such a normal thing to do, bro. I don't know about you, but I love it when my friends try and sacrifice me to Skibidi Toilet. Like, that is a top 10 moment of my life. But in this case scenario, this kid just really, he just put Skibidi Toilet on like a pedestal. It was like Skibidi Toilet was his god, basically, bro. So anyways, this all happened last year. They come back to school. And so Ryan and his friends are, they're hanging out. Welcome back to school. It's one of those kind of fun situations in the beginning of the year where it's like, everyone's like a little bit excited because it's like, oh, we just came back to school. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, that's pretty fun. But at the same time, like, that kind of initial excitement to see all the boys begins to wear off, especially when you realize that, oh, okay, well, I'm now back with all the boys, but also I'm now all back with all the homework. And I'm back with all the exams and the projects and going to detention and really annoying classes and being bored and blah, 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 right? And so on one of those days, a couple weeks in, they run into this kid, or in one of their classes, there's this kid, Ben. And he only really starts to show symptoms of having Skibidi Toilet syndrome a couple weeks in. Because before, I think he was like trying to talk to someone. Because in the very beginning, he was like, oh, he'd go, like, Ben would basically go to some people in class and be like, oh, do you like Skibidi Toilet? No. No one likes Skibidi Toilet, bro. I hate to break it to you. Actually, I don't hate to break it to you. It is my pleasure to break it to you that nobody cares. Nobody cares. But a couple weeks in, I think Ben almost became more Skibidi Toilet deranged. I think the syndrome got worse. The Skibidi Toilet virus became more strong. It took over more of his brainstem. Because a couple weeks in, this is what happens. So basically, a couple weeks in, Ryan goes into class, comes in. It seems like a normal day. Starts off as a normal day, as all these stories sometimes start off to be. He walks in, and Ben is late. Ben is late, and look, sometimes you might be thinking, oh, well, kids are always late. Nah, here's the thing. You're normally, like, this school especially, they're very, very strong. Like, they're very strict on being prompt. Like, I don't mean, like, when I say that, I mean, like, you're 30 seconds late, you get in trouble. Like, you get a strike against you or something. They take it very, very seriously. So it's always surprising when someone doesn't show up, because if someone doesn't show up after 30 seconds, it's actually more likely that they don't show up at all, and they'll just like either actually be sick or in a lot of cases claim to be sick or claim something happened. Which, in my opinion, I don't know if that makes the most sense, just because you're going to have all these kids essentially lying to you and just being like, oh, yeah, I'm sick, instead of just like, being a couple of seconds late. Like, bro, 30 seconds late. Like, I don't totally understand why they're tweaking so hard. But anyways, so Ben walks into class 5 minutes late. And remember, they go crazy over 30 seconds late. So the fact he's coming in 5 seconds late is a little bit crazy. So, of course, the teacher's like, Ben, like, what are you doing so late? And he was like, sorry, teacher, I have my priorities set. And the teacher, instead of just being like, okay, I'm going to assign you a demerit, and that's going to go in your record, and if you get 2 more of those, you have to go to the principal and speak with him, blah, blah, blah. The teacher was like, whoa. Did you just say you have your priorities straight? Like, the teacher's like, that's not going to fly by me, mister. And Ben decides to hold his ground. And Ben's like, yes, ma'am, I do have my priorities straight. So at this point, it's weird. So Ryan's sitting in the back of the class, kind of looks over at one of his boys like, yo, what's going down here, bro? What's going down? And they both look to the front of the class, and sure enough, Ben and this teacher are kind of just staring each other down. The teacher's like, do you want to elaborate on what you mean by having your priorities straight? And Ben is like, yes, I needed to finish the newest episode of Skibidi Toilet that just came out. It's essential for me to view it, so I did. I hope that you understand. And the teacher's looking at him like, and then looks at him. And after like an awkward pause, she's like, I hope you understand that you're getting 1 demerit on your record. And Ben's like, fine. And he walks back, walks to his seat and sits down. So at this point, like, Ryan looks at one of his friends and kind of gives him this look of like, yo, like, what is this kid on? What is Buddy doing here? And yeah, his friend kind of looks back at him like, I don't even know what to say about this. Whatever, right? So sure enough, teacher goes on with class, but you could kind of just, Ryan was watching Ben, and you could kind of just tell that he was irked by this. He was not, Ben was not happy sitting there. I think he kind of he didn't admit defeat, but when the teacher's like, I hope you understand you get 1 demerit, the Ben, I think, kind of just accepted that as a fact. And then as he sat down, he's like, in his head, he's like, no, but I was doing something good, man. Skibidi Toilet came out. How can you expect me to miss that? So eventually, Ben raises his hand. And the teacher looks around, and she's like, yes. And he's like, yes, Miss Anderson, yes. I think you should get rid of that demerit you gave me. And she's like, Ben, this is maybe something we can talk about after class, just because you're interrupting class right now. And then she almost takes a little bit of a pause. And then she's like, I really don't think I'm going to remove that demerit though, Ben, just so you know. So Ben's hand goes down. She goes back to teaching. 30 seconds later, Ben's hand shoots up again. And Ryan looks at one of his buddies like, dude, what is this kid on? What is this kid doing, man? And sure enough, Miss Anderson looks around again and is like, Ben, yes, is this about something that I'm talking about? Is this about the dinosaurs? Is this about prehistoric history, Ben? Spoiler, it was not. And Ben's like, I think you should remove the demerit. And Miss Anderson's like, Ben, this is not the conversation for right now, but just because of the way that you're talking to me, you know what? I'm definitely almost 100% not doing that now. And Ben's like, but Miss Anderson, I was watching the new Skibidi Toilet video. You don't understand what that means. And she's like, yes, you're correct. I don't understand what that means. But what I do understand, Ben, is that you were 5 minutes late to class. I've given out demerits for being only 30 seconds late to class. Why do you think I should not give you one for being a whole 5 minutes late? And watching a Skibidi Toilet, what was that? Ben's like, Skibidi Toilet, you should know this. And she's like, I don't know why I should know this, but just because you're watching a Bibbidi Toilet, and Ben's like, no, Skibidi Toilet. She's like, it doesn't matter. And Ben's like, yes, it actually does. And at this point, Ryan looks at one of his boys like, why is it getting heated here? Genuinely, why is it getting heated? And, Ben was kind of looking at his boys, and they were kind of looking at each other like, why are they all geeking right now? This is low-key kind of crazy. Why is he freaking out over this? And Ben is getting all, annoyed, well, for many reasons. One, that Miss Anderson didn't allow him to be 5 minutes late to class, which, remember, she doesn't allow people to be 30 seconds late for class, let alone 5. And so sure enough, right, and then also on top of that, she's mispronouncing Skibidi Toilet. I mean, that's a crime against humanity right there, man. There's nothing worse than mispronouncing Skibidi Toilet. Very few things that are worse, man. Very few things that are worse. Yeah, so sure enough, right, the subscriber, is kind of sitting in the back of the class, watching things heat up, kind of just being like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, but I can't take my eyes away from the screen. I can't take my eyes away from what I'm looking at, because it's low-key pretty funny too. I mean, don't tell me otherwise. It is low-key pretty funny, bro. Yeah, so sure enough, right, the teacher's like, I'm not gonna budge on this. Which, like, low-key respect to her for that, because, like, she shouldn't budge on that. Like, I definitely wouldn't budge on that. And it's, like, not something you should, but, like, I get it, bro. Like, I 100% get it. So the teacher's like, okay, well, I don't care what Skibidi Toilet is. It doesn't give you a right to be, like, it doesn't give you a right to, like, be late to class when everyone else can't be late to class. And at this point, the entire discussion has been derailed. The entire discussion has been completely derailed, and there's no question about it. And at this point, right, the subscribers is like, they're having like a stare down. Like, they're having a crazy stare down right now, and it's actually insane. So sure enough, right, Ben is like, yeah, that's Miss Anderson. I'm giving you one last opportunity to not disrespect Skibidi Toilet like that. Bro, it's so funny when he's like, I'm giving you an opportunity to not disrespect Skibidi Toilet. I'm giving you an opportunity, as if he was like blessing her with the opportunity to not disrespect Skibidi Toilet, bro. Like, nobody cares, my brother. Nobody cares here. And at this point, Ryan, there's just like a palpable awkwardness in the room. Like, you can cut that with a knife. Like, you can feel it in a sense. And sure enough, right, the subscriber is just very awkwardly sitting in the back of the classroom. So Ben stands up out of his chair and is like, I want to hear you disrespect Skibidi Toilet one more time. You wouldn't dare, ma'am. You wouldn't dare. He's getting all aggressive and weird about it. So obviously Miss Anderson's like, Ben, you sit back down in your chair right now. If you don't do that right away, I'm going to give you another demerit. And I guess the system there is like, if you get 3 demerits, you're sent to the principal's office, but obviously demerits can be for a wide range of things. Like, if you're sent to the principal's office for 3 demerits because you're 30 seconds late, like, over the course of a month, the principal's going to be like, hey, like, try and be more timely, but you can go back. But if you got 3 demerits and some of those demerits were like, you attempted to fight the teacher, you tried to overthrow the U.S. government, you tried to poison the water supply of Illinois. Like, if those are the demerits, well, then the punishments are going to be a bit stricter. It's almost like the demerits are the thing that get you sent to the principals, but the actual punishment is dependent on the crimes, on the rules you break, essentially. So Ben's like, okay, well, I'm going to give you one more opportunity to not disrespect Skibidi Toilet, or you're going to face the Skibidi Toilet defenders. And he like whips out both of his fists and he balls both of his fists and like put them up. And Miss Anderson's like, are you threatening to fight me? And at this point, everyone in the class, like, it was such a quick escalation for no reason. Because everyone's like, oh man, this like kid's being annoying, like, oh, Skibidi Bibby this, like, whatever. And then 2 seconds later, he's in a fighting stance, bro. Bro's actually in Street Fighter 5 right now. Like, buddy's got his fists out. Like, are you really about to go down, get expelled out of school potentially, to defend your honor? Or not even to defend your honor, to defend the honor of an inanimate, like, video? Like, bro's actually going to lose his career. He's going to mess up the rest of his life because a recorded Gmod video, aka Skibidi Toilet, bro, also Skibidi Toilet has destroyed Gmod for the rest of the generations forever. But anyways, right, she's like, I'm going to give you one more you're getting another demerit. But if you don't sit down right now, you're getting your 3rd demerit and you're going straight to the principal's office. Yeah, so sure enough, right, the Skibidi Toilet kid, a.k.a. Ben, he does not make good choices. He starts walking up to Miss Anderson. And Miss Anderson's like, Ben, what are you doing? You said 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, and then before just you get this, and he like lifts up his fist. He's also like a little dinky kid, but just for context, he's like, apologize to Skibidi, say it's better than everything. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2. Miss Anderson's like, I'm not doing that. 2, 2.5. It's funny, bro. He literally says 3, 2, and then 2.5. But he starts going back up. Oh, by the way, if you want to submit stories to me, go to my Instagram. It's Connor Pugs. Actually, I have more followers in there than here because my reels do pretty well. I don't know. They might make you sad, but they do pretty well. And so follow me and then message me the story. I think you have to be following me to message me. So anyways, he's like, goes 3, 2, 2.5. But he starts counting back up. Like, bro, what are you doing? Anyways, though, 2.5, 2, 1.75. And she's like, I'm not doing it. Sit back down now. You'll probably still have to go to the principal's office. But if you want me to be less scathing in my report to him, sit down now. And he's like, 4 Skibidi. And he like whips his fist around, which like very slowly, because, you know, he's not a professional fighter. And he like hits the teacher in the leg. So it's not like a clean knockout, TKO, whatever. But he like kind of like with a ton of air resistance basically taps her in the leg. And the whole class like goes silent. They're like, oh my God. And at this point, even the kid's like, oh, I actually did that. And the teacher has received no damage. It's like the teacher's just standing there like, well, Ben, if that was how you chose to go about that situation, then that's how you chose to go about that situation, Ben. And they kind of have this stare off for a second. It's dead silent. She looks him in the eyes and she screams, go to the principal's office.